Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. Today we're actually going to be talking about 5 credit repair advertising secrets revealed. I have a confession to make. Actually, there's going to be a lot more than 5 we're going to talk about today. I think I put together the title of the webinar before I actually put together the details of the webinar, and once I actually got into it I realized that I had a lot more than just 5 things to go over with you today. But the purpose of what today is going to do is I'm going to kind of break open the secret code to advertising and credit repair. If you're on the call, you're probably starting your credit repair business, or you already have a credit repair business, and you already know the difficulties that you face in advertising. Advertising for credit repair and getting good response is something that's not necessarily easy to do by any means. And there's a secret code to this that I've discovered. It took me a lot of years to figure it out, and that's what today we're going to kind of talk about. We're going to dissect this. We're going to talk about a lot of different points. It might seem like we're even all over the board. There's so much information we're going to cover in such a short period of time and go into so many different topics. Before we do, let me person to actually talk to you today is that, I used to own a credit repair business. I'm one of the living success stories that you'll ever meet for credit repair. I owned a credit repair business. I sold it, made a lot of money. And in doing so, when I sold that business, there we had a lot of different effective advertising methodologies that we were implementing that gave the company a tremendous amount of value. Okay, so there's a lot I've done. Everything I'm going to talk to you about here today isn't a conceptual idea of what might work when we actually talk about the topic of how to advertise and the secrets to advertising and credit repair. These are tested, proven methodologies. These are exactly what I've seen from myself and from many of my peers, that exactly what works in advertising for credit repair. So that being said, I want to go ahead and dive in. Let me talk to you a little bit more and we'll get started today about exactly how you can effectively advertise for the credit repair business. So first of all, I want to tell you, it's all in the message. Effective advertising for credit repair is really about the message that you actually market. Look, the sad reality is most people are not going to respond to advertisements directly about credit repair in most medias. Okay, the bureaus are winning this war. You see, they've waged war against the credit repair industry because, look, the truth is, if the general population really understood what they could do to improve their credit, the bureaus would be buried by an onslaught of disputes. I mean, it is ridiculous the multi-millions of disputes that they would have to face if people really knew how ineffective what was, or how inaccurate what was being reported on their credit reports is. So they have waged war against the credit repair industry. Even the FTC has got on board, and there's this stigma where people aren't really sure if credit repair works. So the one thing I've realized is that you really can't go direct in and say, look, call me today for credit repair. Don't get me wrong, you can run those ads, but as most of you on the call already know, no matter what media you choose, if you're running that kind of ad, that kind of message, you're not going to get tremendous response. But there is another way that you can advertise and get tremendous response when it actually comes to credit repair. And one of the best things to do to get around this is to put up a message that they'll actually respond to. Okay, advertise for what they actually want. Don't go right in advertising for the credit repair. Instead, come in and advertise for what they're usually using the credit repair for. Okay, because as we most all know, most prospects don't want credit repair. Okay, they don't come to you and say, hey, I want my credit fixed, just to have my credit fixed. Most of them are looking to fix the credit to buy something. Okay, we know that. Okay, it was kind of an odd thing. When I owned a credit repair company and somebody would call in and say, well, I'm calling to fix my credit just to fix my credit. We would be like, are you sure? You sure about that? I mean, isn't there something you want to buy? Because it was such an odd call. I mean, almost everybody would come in and go, I need a mortgage, I want a car, and I got to get my credit fixed to actually get what I need. Okay, so that's one of the best ways to actually advertise for credit repair, is to simply advertise for exactly what it is they want. So for example, you can advertise buy a home with bad credit. And that will get you 10 times more response than fixed credit to buy a home. Okay, I know this because I've tested this exact message before. Ultimately, the key to successful advertising for credit repair is to not go in directly and say, look, call me today to fix your credit. That's not really what people are wanting to do. You've got to go in and talk about what they're wanting to buy with the credit to get their interest. Okay, and this is no different than in our world. In the business credit world, we say the same thing. Okay, if you really want to sell somebody business credit financing, the best thing to do is to go to that customer and talk about what they're going to use the money for. Don't talk about the money they're going to get. What are you going to use the money for? And then they start thinking about this, what they're going to use the money for, what they're going to buy it for. That's the world that they actually live in. And when they're in that world, that's when you're going to have somebody that's receptive. It's no different here than credit repair. You don't want to go in and hit them with credit repair because that thought of that in their mind, they've heard bad things. It brings about a bad stigma sometimes. In some cases, it'll push them away. Just not because it doesn't work, we all know it does, but because of maybe things they've heard or maybe false beliefs that they have. But instead, when you say, hey, and you start talking about the home that they're going to buy when their credit's fixed, when you start talking about the car that they're going to buy when their credit's fixed, that's when you really, really get to them. Now, let me teach you how I learned this right here. I'm going to show you 3 ads here. These are real advertisements that I actually ran when I discovered how all this worked. You see, I used to be in the mortgage business. It's how I got into credit repair. We found that we had so many people that needed credit repair, we just started doing credit repair for them because we had to. We realized if we could help convert people that were 10, 20, 30 points away from qualifying to raise their score to get them to a point where they qualify, that we could corner an entire market. I mean, literally, when the economy changed, we ran nothing but ads about bad credit people when everybody else stopped. And as a result, we were overwhelmed with business, which then helped us create an environment where we're easily able to sell those people credit repair. So when I first started running these kind of ads on Craigslist, my intention had nothing to do with credit repair at all. The actual intention was to sell them mortgages. But what we found was that the response was so massive to the ads, and I mean massive response, that we couldn't even handle the volume of calls we had coming in. We literally, on a nationwide Craigslist campaign, were pulling in 70 to 100 phone calls a day with these exact ads. And what happened was that most of these people couldn't qualify for mortgages. They needed credit repair. So we quickly realized, wait a minute, this is not a viable mortgage campaign. We wouldn't want to do this just to get mortgage customers because inevitably most of them aren't going to qualify. But this is a perfect candidate or a perfect campaign to run for credit repair. So that's exactly what we did. We created more ads and more ads. And what we did was we started running these ads just like this. Buy a home with bad credit. You have bad credit, call us today to get a home. Now, of course, 100% home loans aren't around now as they were then, okay, but the message was the same. Look, call us today and we can help you get a mortgage even if you have bad credit. Now, what happened again was 70 to 100 people called a day, and we converted most of those people to credit repair. As a matter of fact, on Craigslist alone, we were selling 70 credit repair clients a month on Craigslist, just running Craigslist ads. But don't get me wrong, okay, we didn't run a Craigslist ad in Tampa and Orlando. We ran Craigslist in every city in the United States. Okay, we had a system to run ads across every single city in the United States. We had ad posters. There was a lot involved to it. But the bottom line is we were bringing in about 100 leads, 70, 100 leads a day. And of those leads, we were converting about 70 of them to actual credit repair clients. So it works. It's very effective. One of the biggest lead generating companies that I know, company that's done a lot of work for a company you've probably heard of called Lexington Law. The primary method of bringing leads into the company has to do with advertising for things like home loans, bringing them in and converting them into credit repair leads. This is one of the most effective ways to get customers, is not to advertise for credit repair, but to advertise for what they're really looking for, such as mortgages, such as actual car loans. Now, don't get me wrong. What you'll find with these kind of ads is that 20% of the clients are actually going to qualify for the mortgage. Okay, this is one of the funny problems that we kind of ran into, was that 20% of those people actually did qualify for home loans. Now, you say, well, Ty, you were doing mortgages, so why was that a problem? Well, it was a problem because a lot of those people were from other states outside of ours, and we couldn't do loans for them. Okay, but then what we realized was something very, very, very important. that those were perfect leads to send to potential affiliates to get them to send us more business. You see, we had a campaign where 80% of these people were perfect for credit repair and we were selling them credit repair. Then we had 20% of these people that came in and go, yeah, my credit's bad. Well, they had a 680 credit score. They just heard all the stuff on the news and thought they couldn't qualify for a home loan when they easily could have. So what we did was took those exact same leads and we basically gave them at no cost to other mortgage companies. And in doing so, we converted those companies into affiliates that then sent us their business. So we had an advertising campaign. We converted most of those people into credit repair leads. The people that qualified on their own, we'd give away for no cost to other affiliates that we wanted to do business with. And then in turn, we had those people turn around and send us their credit repair leads. Okay, this all of a sudden turned into a massive campaign because not only were we getting all of the business that came from those Craigslist ads, but we also brought in at least 10 new affiliates a month because we were funneling them leads of qualified buyers, and in return they gladly gave us all their junk. Right? All the stuff they couldn't get done, they gladly gave to us. Well, then something happened. We proved ourselves, right? We showed them what we all know to be accurate and true, that credit repair really, really works. And all of a sudden, they started getting these leads of people that qualified. Then they started getting leads back that they'd sent us of more qualified people. And at that point, it was done. The relationship was done. It was solidified. Even if we cut off the leads to them, they were still sending their business to us because they realized themselves that they no longer had turndowns. They could send people to us for credit repair. We'd give them a nice, cool little affiliate commission just for sending them over. And then all of a sudden, a month, 2 months, 3 months later, we'd send them back as qualified buyers. Okay, so one of the best things that you could actually do in advertising for credit repair is in the message. Don't hit them between the eyes with credit repair. Instead, promote what they're going to use the credit repair to buy as the home loan, such as the car loan. And in doing so, you're going to be able to get a lot greater response to your ads, and you're also going to get in a lot of other business that you could pass on to potential affiliates. Now, the next thing I really want to talk about is places to advertise, okay? Because in marketing, for what customers actually want, the door is open to possible places to market. Okay, so for example, if you're developing and using this strategy, this opens up the world for mortgage magazines, auto trader magazines, Craigslist, as I mentioned. Okay, and this is exactly what our next step was. We basically went to all the local mortgage magazines that are around, and they're all different in your area, but one of the big ones is Homes and Land. Homes and Land is a perfect example, right? You walk into a grocery store, you buy a Homes and Land, they have a bunch of homes in there for sale. They're pretty expensive, but there's a lot of other companies that are like them that are much more affordable. Well, then all of a sudden the same thing. Run an ad. Call me today to get a mortgage with bad credit, and exactly the same response. We get a lot of people, 20% of them can get a home loan, okay, in that local area. At that point, we would either do the loan, pass it on to potential affiliates, and at the same time, we had a lot of people that came in for credit repair. Okay, so this opens up a whole nother window. Because, for example, you might not have thought of advertising in auto trader magazines or auto magazines. You might not have thought of advertising in mortgage mortgage magazines, and I've tried. Okay, I tried to run credit repair ads in these type of publications and didn't get good response. But when we went in and said, buy a car with bad credit, call today, buy a home with bad credit, call today, we got massive response. We sold them credit repair, we got them converted, we gave them to people who became other potential affiliates, and we got kind of, a lot of bang for our buck. Because we got the leads from the actual advertisement, which was much greater than we ever would have got advertising credit repair directly, and at the exact same time we picked up a tremendous amount of potential affiliates. Now there's a lot of places you could potentially advertise. Okay, you can easily come in and you can advertise places like email. So email is a great way to advertise because it's free. All you need is a good list, and we'll talk about in a few minutes how you can go about getting a very good list to actually email market to. But it's one of the best ways to do it because it's cheap, if not nearly free, and the larger the amount of people that you're marketing to, the much greater response you're going to get. And in a little bit later, we're going to talk about several different ways that you can use email advertising effectively. Social media, great way to advertise. Again, if done correctly, it's free. It's so easy to go to people in your area or anywhere nationwide that are realtors, that are mortgage people, and like their page. Get them to like your page. It's very simple to do. And in doing so, you have a lot of people that see your messages on a regular basis. So for example, your credit repair experts, everybody on the call. So teach them things. You know, as we all know, real estate agents and mortgage brokers, they think they know a lot about credit, but they don't really know a lot about credit. Very few of them, for example, know things as basic as how the credit score really works, or know what a mortgage industry option score model works. I mean, they qualify hundreds of clients for home loans and don't even know what the actual score model that they're pulling actually is. So this is the kind of information you could post on social media. You can educate a lot of people and even pull in a lot of potential realtors, mortgage brokers, just because they're interested in the information you're putting out there. You can even take it to a whole nother level. Okay, you could do ads on Facebook. You could do ads in a lot of these social media places also. And LinkedIn is a great place to actually post. I don't know, it's 2 o'clock and I've got 5 invitations today to connect on LinkedIn. Everybody, constantly, I get 5 to 10 invitations a day of people that are reaching out to me to connect to them on LinkedIn, okay, because they're interested in the content that I'm putting out there. And that's what this is about. Social media is a great way to advertise because it's nearly free. Unless you're actually buying the actual ads, and you have a receptive audience. Plus, when most people are on their social media, they're not in a work mindset. If you think about it, when you sit down to check out your Facebook page, your mind's not heavy in work things. You're usually checking it out sometimes to even get a little relief from that. So you kind of hit people off guard when you're putting good content messages on social media. And if you're doing that, you're apt to get a lot of people to like your page, to follow you on Twitter. And in doing so, you have an audience where you can send them constant information, put yourself as a credible expert in the industry, and a lot of them will do business with you. Your website, it's a big, big thing to do. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit later about how you can actually do some effective pay-per-click SEO type of advertising for your website. But use your website as a marketing tool. Okay, use it as a way to go in, capture people's email address, such as giving them a free report to get their email information. And you can do a lot of SEO, SEM type stuff, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes, to really promote your website. And when you can promote your website for credit repair, the more hits you get, the more of those hits are typically going to convert to actual sales. So build a powerful website. You know what? It doesn't have to be expensive. Nowadays, you can go get a WordPress template or templates online for very cheap, $50, $20, less than $100. You could pay somebody else less than $100 to put your site up, and for a couple $100, you could put together a ridiculously effective website that can get you a lot of business. Radio and TV. That's what we did. You see, the problem with Craigslist was we could only go to all 50 states and then we were done. But we had an effective campaign. So what we did with it next was we took it to radio. Okay, we took the exact same campaign that worked on Craigslist to radio and started advertising. You want a home with bad credit? Had little people on there doing testimonials. Okay, little role playing on there where they're going in saying, hey, Bob, I want to buy a house. Well, hey, I got this perfect way that you could buy a home with bad credit. Call 888 da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so these radio ads were very effective. Now, I'll tell you, you got to financially be committed if you're going in for radio and TV. Okay, because the salespeople will tell you all day long, and they're spot on correct, that this isn't a one-hit wonder. You can't come in there and do ads for a day, for a week, for a month, and be effective. You got to be in it for the long haul. You got to buckle down and be prepared to go in this for 2 or 3 months. But I'll tell you, it's ridiculously cheap and affordable to do. A lot of people don't realize how cheap advertising is on the radio and TV, especially nowadays. These guys are desperate for people to come in there and advertise. Okay, so you can get some radio time, TV time, very affordable. And I got to tell you, when these people call, they're already sold. It's like it gives you instant credibility being on radio and TV. Not to mention that once you're on these places, you can come in and then put on your website, as seen on TV. You could put on, as seen on, Fox 8, or as seen on, 93.7 FLP, or whatever it may be. So it gives you credibility you could use in your advertising pieces, your marketing pieces, on top of the fact that you can get a lot of business from radio and TV if you're using these same kind of strategies that we've talked about so far. Yard signs, direct mail, just a couple more ideas that are pretty simple ideas to get more business. Again, you put something about, getting approved for a mortgage with bad credit on a yard sign somewhere around a bank where they're going to look for home loans where they're not going to be able to qualify with bad credit, you're going to get some good response. Direct mail is a great way to market because, with direct mail, you can measure your response. You know that if you send out 1,000 pieces and X amount of people call, what your response is going to be. So it's very good to measure your response with things like direct mail. Okay, now, you also want to really focus on your web presence. Okay, so ensure your site is set up as SEO friendly. Excuse me, I'm going to take a real quick drink of water. Now, what SEO is search engine optimized. What that means, I don't have enough time to tell you. The truth is, I sat down with a mentor of mine and said, hey, how do I get on the first page of Google? And he told me. And then I went and hired somebody to do it. Because if anybody ever tells you what's involved, you will hire somebody to do this. There's a lot involved to optimize a website. As we're going to talk about in the next slide, I'm going to teach you how to do this ridiculously cheap. But SEO, search engine optimization, and SEM, which is search engine marketing, are very cheap, effective ways to get customers to your website. Okay, you can easily get on the front page of Google and quickly with most credit repair terms. Look, a lot of people are not eating up these credit repair terms. Lexington Law does. They own the internet when it comes to credit repair terms. Guys, why do you think they do that? You think it's effective? You think they dedicate over $1 million in a month on their budget for SEO and SEM type of marketing because it's not effective? Guys, they have a massive online presence because it's one of the most effective ways that they have of getting business, okay? And it's not hard to do. A lot of credit repair companies are not fighting for these keyword terms. So it's a pretty open market out there to go in, capture some of this, get good online presence, and in doing so, get a lot of visitors to your website. So for example, you probably don't want to go in and focus on a term like free credit repair. Instead, focus on the city that you're in, free credit repair Tampa. Now, I'll give you some examples. When I wanted to do this, I hired somebody, and I'm going to show you how in just a minute. She worked for me. She still does work for me and still does SEO for me on a lot of stuff on top of a lot of other things. Her husband actually now still works for me. But that being said, she is pretty proficient at SEO. I hired her at a rate of $2 an hour. Okay, don't worry, I don't believe in slave labor. I'm going to tell you how to do that in just a minute. So she started at $2 an hour. That's what she worked for. And she was an SEO queen. She was very, very good with SEO. Okay, all I did was give her a few articles, told her the keyword terms I wanted her to hit, and then miraculously she would turn it into results. Now, in 2 weeks' time, she had us in first position on Google in free credit repair Tampa, free credit repair Orlando, free credit repair Miami, free credit repair Jacksonville. The major cities in Florida, within a couple weeks' time, we had cornered. Not only we were on the first page of Google, we were in first position in Google for $2 an hour. If she probably dedicated 3 hours a week to do this. Okay, so ultimately we spent less than $15 and we're on first position on those kind of keyword terms in many of the major cities in Florida. Now, she also focused on free credit repair, and when I sold the company, we were on the first page of Google for free credit repair. Okay, so at that point in time, it took her less than 2 months to get us on the first page of Google for the term free credit repair. So very effective. These are keyword terms that you could focus on, maybe not those exact ones. I'm using them as an example. Focus on your city first. Own those keyword terms, get into first position, and start focusing on the major keyword to push yourself up with Google. And if you're doing it with a good, cheap SEO person, you could do this for ridiculously cheap money. And if you have something like an opt-in form on your website, then you're going to make very good use of these leads. And an opt-in form is just, you've seen them before. You go to a website and it says, hey, give me your email address and I'll give you this free report on the 5 deadly mistakes that people make with their credit. Okay, what you do is you put together a nice free report or ebook. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And you're just going to basically give that away to them for giving you your email address, for them to giving you their email address. Now, what you'll do with their email address, we're going to talk about in a minute. But the bottom line is, if you have a good website set up that's SEO friendly, okay, you have somebody that's doing a little bit of SEM marketing, okay, you can come in and own these keywords, and it's a very effective way to advertise for credit repair. Now, sites like Odesk.com, Guru, Freelancer can be invaluable to a business owner. Okay, contractors can be hired for as little as 50 cents per hour, and they can be hired cheap and do many tasks such as web design, SEO, SEM work. Okay, here's how this works. Guys, in the United States, maybe $15 an hour is okay money for somebody, for a minimum type of salary job. Okay, but in another country, $1 an hour is a tremendous amount of money for them. It's a lot of money. And, you know, there's a lot of people in India and the Philippines that they would love to have a job. And to them, $1 an hour is a lot of money in their country, and they are very proficient at what they do. Don't get me wrong, okay, I'm not undermining American workers. I'm all go American, okay? I had a whole company full of I don't know how many employees we had, okay? But the bottom line is, when you run a business, there are some things you don't pay people 15 to 30 bucks an hour to do, because if you did, you wouldn't do it. And this is exactly why a lot of people don't do SEO and SEM. The companies out there that do it charge $300 to $700 a month to do it, and that's not very affordable for a lot of companies. But all of a sudden, if you could do SEO and SEM for 30 bucks a month, well, guess what? Now it becomes ridiculously affordable. Okay, so Odesk, Guru, Freelancer, these people have a lot of Americans on there too. Some of them are from the United States, some of them are from other countries, but it's just kind of like eBay. If you go to eBay, it's pretty bad. It's pretty hard to get ripped off nowadays, because you pick the seller that has 3,000 feedbacks of positive, and that guy's probably a pretty straight shooter. The guy you have to watch out for is the guy that sold no items before. Well, it's the same thing here. They have all of their job history on there. All of their past employers rate them, so you'll know you're working with somebody good. And you can easily find people that have experience in these kind of areas to work for you very, very affordable prices. Like I said, the girl that I started with that did that for me in the credit repair, she still works for me today doing things for us here in the business credit side. Her husband works for me doing things. They do all of our website design. They do SEO. They do SEM for us on the business credit side. Okay, these people will stay with me for I don't know how many years. Okay, my main virtual assistant today that I hired on there still works for me today. Okay, she's worked for me now for 6 years. Okay, she's been my main virtual assistant. She has my social. She has my bank account. She has my PIN number. She has everything. I mean, I think she has more on me than my own wife has on me, okay, because I trust her to the end of the world, okay, but she's worked for me for that long. You can get very, very loyal, very solid contractors on these type of places to do this kind of work for you where it's very, very affordable. Okay, Odesk is my favorite. It's one of the best places. Okay, you can simply post a job for free, and contractors bid on how much they're willing to work per hour. Pretty easy. You put an ad up for a virtual assistant, you'll get 100 people respond in a day. And all of them say, I'll work for you for 50 cents an hour. I'll work for you for 30 bucks an hour. And you can easily go through their records and find the people that work best for you. Plus, what I like about this site is they take screenshots of what the person's doing randomly. I get this question all the time. Ty, aren't you nervous working with people out of the country? I say, absolutely not. Look, with Odesk, they take random screenshots of what this person's working for. So at any given time, I can log into Odesk and see exactly what that person was working on all throughout their day. Think about it. Do you have that kind of control over your employees now? Most don't. Very few people, none that I've ever met, ever do this with a regular employee. They don't randomly record shots of their computer screen to see what they're working on. And if you did, you'd be blown away. Okay, because when I started doing that, I was amazed at how much money I was paying employees to go on their Facebook page, for example. Okay, so this is very effective. On Odesk, though, you'll get a lot of people who are very, very, very happy just to have a job that you can really learn that you're going to be able to trust. But if you're concerned about that, they take screenshots so you'll know exactly what the person's working on, and you can make sure that they're doing what you're paying them to actually do. Okay, plus, they can be taught to do most things: data entry, email creation, social media posting, lead and sales marketing, updating your software such as CreditSuite, okay, with credit results, preparing dispute letters, gathering lead data, marketing, and much, much more. Okay, look, most of my credit repair business was run by these type of contractors. Almost all of the work done in the dispute process was run by these kind of contractors because I realized they were very easy to hire, very affordable to hire, okay, and you could teach them to do just about anything, and once you taught them to do something, they're like a machine. They would do it consistently, spot on every single time. So on top of just your SEO, your SEM, your website creation, stuff you can get done ridiculously cheap, okay, they could do a lot of other tasks you're probably not even thinking about. Okay, a good Odesk contractor could build an entire website for you for $100, for $200, for $1, $2 an hour. Another person could do SEO, do SEM. Okay, could post ads on Craigslist, could post your social media posts, could do a lot of the work that you're doing right now. Okay, the key to make this happen is just to properly write down every step of the process that you're doing and having somebody do it for you. Okay, I commonly hear everybody say, well, I believe only you can do that. It's not true. It's not accurate. It's BS. Okay, anybody can do most of what you do if you were to write out clear instructions step by step for them to do it. You don't have to trust me. Just try it for $1 an hour, right? I mean, you can't really lose just by trying it. Take a task that you don't like doing in a day. Instead of doing it, just write out instructions for somebody else to do it. Give the instructions to somebody that you're paying $1 an hour and see if they can do it for you. And you'll realize even with difficult tasks, you give them a week to work it out, okay, they're able to do it for you. Think about it. I was able to take contractors at $1, $2 an hour, teach them to read a credit report, which they don't even have in their country, understand what it means, and look at another credit report and tell me what's changed. Has anything been deleted from this report? Yes or no? It was amazing. And what was astonishing was when I put together a test to find the right contractor to do this, 80% of them passed the test almost flawlessly. They were able to look at one report that had accounts, another report where accounts had been deleted, okay, and they were able to tell me the exact accounts that had been removed from the different reports. Okay, at $1 or $2 an hour. So these guys can be taught to do most things beyond just your SEO marketing type of stuff. And it's one of the easiest, and best ways that you can ever get people. Because listen, the number one thing I hear from clients that offer business credit is, Ty, I don't have time. Well, you don't have time because you're doing too much work that you should be having cheap hourly people doing for you. But again, most people do that work and shoulder that work because all of us can't afford to go out and hire people at 15, 20, 30 bucks an hour to do the work for you. So at least check this out. You'll find you're able to get a lot of good contractors to do a lot of different contracting work tasks for you at a very affordable rate. Take a pressure off yourself and free up your work day to give you more time for marketing and advertising. Now, one of the best ways to advertise for credit repair spot on is to give things away for free, okay? This is how we advertise credit repair without advertising something else and selling credit repair. Now, the best thing that I've seen is right here, a credit repair kit or course, massively successful. Okay, so the only ads we ever ran that were successful on places like Craigslist, and look, I'm not saying Craigslist is the best place to get customers, but it's a great testing ground. I love Craigslist to test because you could take ads, headlines, just about anything, advertise on Craigslist for cheap or nearly free, or free or nearly free, and you could test the response and then take it to another media. And credit repair kits or courses are great ways to get people. So what do you do in a kit or course? Simple. Teach them everything you know and show them how complicated the credit repair process truly is. Have you ever dealt with a customer that just thought they could fix their own credit and do it as well as you did? You ever talk to that guy, right? It sounds like I could do this on my own. right? And they have no clue what eOscar is and OCR and that 30% of the score is based on available credit. And they don't even know. They don't know what reason codes are. They don't know any of these things, right? Well, teach them. Tell them everything. Okay, in the credit repair course we had, it was a 30-day credit repair course, and in this course, we taught them everything that we did for credit repair. We told them exactly what we did. We gave them a 101 dispute letter library to do it themselves. On the credit repair course, we gave them a 65-page guide that explained to them the credit repair process. We taught them about FCRA. We taught them about the Billing Act. We taught them about the FDCPA, numerous other laws, advanced tactics. We talked to them about eOscar. We told them about OCR. Okay, we told them about all of that. Now, for those of you on the call that offer business credit with us now, if you want those materials, reach out to me. I'll send them to you. Okay, that's one of the free things that we give our clients that sell business credit. And if anybody in the future is ever enrolling with us to sell business credit, those are the type of resources that we give you, or these actual things that I was using at one point in time. Okay, but I'll tell you, this is the most effective thing you'll ever do. Now, a lot of you on the call are going, Ty, that's stupid. Why would I teach somebody to do what I'm going to pay them or what I'm going to charge them to do? Simple, because their head will spin with confusion. It's simple. It's as easy as that. You try teaching people how ECR or how OSCAR works or how eOscar works, how OCR works. Man, these people are completely confused. You give them 100 letters to choose from and have them choose the right one that works for their scenario. They are lost. They have no idea what you're talking about. Even when you map it out page by page, what happens is they get 5 pages into this manual and they go, there's no freaking way I'm doing this. I don't even understand what this is talking about. This is confusing. I had no idea how much was involved in credit repair. $99 a month? Here, take my money. I can't tell you how effective it was. The most effective way we ever had of generating credit repair leads was to get people in and give them a free credit repair course, a free credit repair kit. They would come in, they would opt in, they would go through the course and the kit, and at the end of the course, a lot of them would just enroll for us for credit repair because it was so overwhelming and so confusing for them, and they realized how much time was actually involved in it. And they didn't do it. Now, don't get me wrong. Less than 5% did. Okay, and I get testimonials from those people. Man, this kit's amazing. My first round results, I got 7 deletions. That's great. Will you give me a testimonial? Yes. It helped me give away more of the kits, more of the courses, and a high percentage of those people ended up signing up for credit repair. And you could do this anywhere. You could advertise on Craigslist. You could advertise on social media. Okay, you could advertise on your website. Think about it. You have something on your website that says, sign up today for a free 30-day course on how to fix your credit. Okay, now all of a sudden you go onto your social media and you say, hey, sign up on my website for this free course on how to fix your own credit in 30 days. Okay, people go to your website. Now you're pushing people to your website for no money. They're giving you their email address at pretty much no cost just to get this free course. And then after the course is done, you can easily market to them, as I'm going to show you here in a little bit. Pretty simple, pretty easy, very effective. Okay, the other thing you want to do is focus on this power of automation. Now, I talk about this in a few of my webinars because it rules the roost in my world. Okay, this is what helped me create a successful company and sell it. Okay, I stepped out of my company within 2 weeks' time and nobody knew I was gone. Employees, nobody. I said, hey, I'm moving on to other roles. This guy's going to do some of the stuff and oversee and manage you. Okay, Ty, no problem. I was gone. In 2 weeks, nobody even knew I was gone. Most people couldn't even dream of doing that in their business. Why? Because you live in your business. You can't do that. If you want to be successful, you got to work on your business all the time. You can't be in there doing grunt work, doing all this kind of stuff manually. Okay, so delegation and things like automation are key to your success. I mean, this can help grow your business and save you countless hours of time. Okay, now this could include using software and other tools to automate the process that usually cost time, resources, and money. Okay, 2 of those are DisputeSuite. Okay, another one is Infusionsoft. Okay, I'm not talking to you about these 2 because I love DisputeSuite because I work here. Okay, I was a user. I was one of DisputeSuite's first users. Okay, so I work here not because I'm promoting DisputeSuite, not because I work here. It's the opposite. Okay, I was one of the first users of DisputeSuite. It saved me tremendous time, helped us automate our process to a point where now I'm such a fan that I actually work here at the company. Okay, it's very, very effective when you could use software to automate your processes, your emails, your follow-ups, your letter generation. Okay, software like Infusionsoft is great for email marketing. DisputeSuite, you can send messages directly to people through text. You can send messages directly to their voicemails. So think about how powerful that is. How many of your clients do you call just to follow up with? Think about it. If they could just get a text from you, okay, saying, hey, just call them to check in, check your portal, and check your updated results. If they get a message on their voicemail, hey, it's Ty. I just wanted to see how things are going, see if you have any questions on the repair process. Also wanted to let you know we've got another round of disputes out, so keep an eye on your portal for your results. Here's our number. Call us with any questions. Well, the customer says, well, that was very nice of Ty to reach out to me. I never reached out to them. It was an automated phone call that pushed the message directly to their voicemail, and they never even knew it. That's the power of automation. It does what you could manually do without you manually doing it, saving you tremendous amounts of time. And prospect automation can rapidly double your sales this year. Okay, because look, it's just a numbers game. Over 70% of the people you're talking to are not in a phase of the buying cycle. Now, if you don't know what the buying cycle is, you can go online and look it up. It's pretty simple. Okay, a lot of people are not ready to buy. They're not ready to take action. They're interested. They're looking, but they're not ready to buy. You talk to these people all day, every day. Okay, you go home and go, what could I have said to that customer to get them to buy? Nothing. They weren't ready to buy. They were just prodding you for information so when they are ready to buy, they can make the best decision. You can't sell everybody because 70% of the people you talk to, they're not even in a stage where they're ready to buy anyways. Only 30% of them are ready to buy and be sold. Okay, but with proper follow-up, you can keep information in front of them, establish yourself as a trusted advisor and an expert in your field, and the customers will come back to you when they're ready to buy. Okay, look, this is the most brilliant way of marketing ever. Okay, a lot of you are on this call and you get my emails for business credit, right? And if you ever think about buying business credit in the future, then you know what? I'm going to be the first person you're going to call. It's not even going to be your choice consciously. Your subconscious brain is going to throw my name right to the front of it and go, Ty Crandall, business credit, boom. Because I'm sending good, valuable information on a regular basis that you want to know if you're interested in business credit. Think about it. It works exactly the same thing with prospects. They called you because they're interested in having their credit fixed. Even if they're not ready to buy today, they're going to buy at a later date and time. Okay, so what you need to do is keep your information in front of them so when they are ready to buy, they're going to come back to you. What information are you going to send them? Send them an email today that 30% of their credit score is based on available credit. Send them an email tomorrow that 35% of their payments based on payment history. Send them an email the next day that teaches them why there's different credit scoring models. Teach them the next day exactly how Experian works, exactly how Equifax works, or how TransUnion works. Send them another one about eOscar and what it is. Send them another one about how the credit bureaus actually handle disputes. Anybody that's interested in credit repair would die to have this information, and nobody's giving it to them. But when you slowly put them into like an email autoresponder sequence, which you can get set up with Aweber, iContact, or Infusionsoft, and you simply get these emails, you put them into an email autoresponder. Now when you talk to that customer and they're not ready to buy, you say, hey, Mr. Customer, look, I'd like to send you a lot more free information on credit repair. If you don't mind, let me get your email. Of course they don't mind. They called you for that. Here's my email. It's ty@disputesuite.com. Okay, great. Boom, you send them in your sequence, you're on your way. You forget about them. Now, every 3 to 5 days, they're getting emails automatically from the system delivered to them with all this valuable content. And then when they're ready to buy, you're the first person that they're going to come back to. It's one of the best ways to ever get customers. And when you do this, you're not focusing on the 30% of people that are ready to buy. You're focusing on the 70% of people who are going to buy in the future, the same 70% everybody else is ignoring. Okay, it's essential with prospect follow-up because your salespeople are horrible about it. That's the way that it is. Personality profiling, if you've ever studied personality profiling, I'm a big psychology, neuroscience guy. Okay, with personality profiling, the strongest caloric personality, best salespeople are the worst at follow-up. They want to get in, they want to close, and if they can't close, they have no interest of ever talking about customer again. But when you put together automated email follow-up like this, then you kind of make up for the salesman doing a bad follow-up job because you know that customer is going to get marketed to automatically, whether the salesperson ever makes another call to them again or not. Okay, add more services. One of the best ways that you can get the greatest return on your investment, okay, for that customer is to come in and advertise other services, because in many cases you can easily advertise those other services and get greater response. Okay, things like business credit and funding attract a lot of interest from prospects. Guys, this is how I sold my business. What happened was we did good with the mortgage stuff. Okay, but it was a lot involved. We had to have a call center involved, and there was all these Craigslist posters. It was crazy. Okay, then we realized, and we got our hands on the business finance suite. We started advertising business credit, and massive people responded. And we sold them business credit, and we sold them credit repair. And we told them, we said, hey, listen, Mr. Customer, we're not Lexington Law. We're not going to string you along for months and months to get a small monthly fee. Our goal is to fix your credit so we can get you business credit and funding. So our goal is to get it fixed for you as fast as possible. That's exactly why you should just have us fix your credit too. And the customer would nod their head and go, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Let me have my credit fixed. Okay, so they would either choose business credit or credit repair or both. Okay, many people don't know a lot about business credit funding, so it attracts them, especially business credit. They're interested. You put a message out about that, you're likely to get 10 times the response. So it's an easy message to advertise, get a lot of people, and sell them both or either or service. Okay, and again, the easiest way you're ever going to make money is to sell more products to people that you already have. There's no cost of acquiring that client, and they already trust you. So it's like an easy lay-down sale because you already have the trust and rapport built. You didn't spend any money to get them. Okay, so think about it. Credit lines, credit cards, prepaid legal, business credit, attorney services. Okay, there's a lot of things that go hand in hand with credit repair that you can offer customers. Okay, and these are big revenue streams for your business. We earn thousands of dollars a month just by setting people up with credit cards and credit lines. We would either direct them to a place like on Commission Junction where we had affiliate relationships, or we'd set them up with companies at the time that were pretty big at setting people up with credit lines and helping them build their business credit, okay, or helping them build their personal credit. We also sold prepaid legal. We also sold business credit. We sold all these services to our customers because our customers needed them, and what we found was that when customers got their first results, they kind of always had the same reaction. Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. This is amazing. I can't believe it. Blah, blah. They were blown away, right? They didn't think credit repair worked. We overcame this big battle. Then we showed them it worked. They were blown away. They were so happy. And they're like, what else will you sell me? And so we sold them other stuff. And all of a sudden, instead of making $500 to $700 per client, we were making $2,000 to $3,000 per client because we're like, hey man, if you like what we did on your personal credit, can you imagine getting $50,000 in Visa and Discover cards in less than 6 months? Or can you imagine getting an Apple credit card or a Walmart credit card in 3 months with $3,000 limits? Well, how do I do that? Well, that's called business credit. So let's talk about building business credit for your company. Or hey, Mr. Customer, I know you just got served with that notice that you're going to get a judgment. You know what you really need is legal services. So let me get you set up with prepaid legal. Because look, ladies and gentlemen, we weren't doing this to peddle services. We were doing it because our customers really needed this stuff. So if they really need these services, then why don't you become the one that offers it to them? And all of a sudden, instead of making whatever you're making now per customer, you could quadruple if earn 5 times that amount. Okay, so choose services that work for credit repair, and a lot of those services we just looked about, even loan modification, services that help with short sales, any of those type of things. Okay, and what you're going to learn, the same as business credit, is that in a lot of cases you can make a lot more money on that secondary service than you ever would make on the primary service. Okay, with business credit, our clients are making $2,000 a pop. Okay, so all of a sudden they sell credit repair, they come in, the customer loves them, the customer says, what else can I buy? Then they sell them business credit, make $2,000 in profit right there in their pocket immediately. Okay, so all of a sudden the customer trusts you, and you can start making even more money on the secondary services than sometimes than you can on the primary service of credit repair. Now, you'll also gain more affiliates here. Okay, think about this. This is exactly where we're succeed in business credit. Okay, merchant advance companies, banks, accountants, other business professionals, they'll refer customers for things like business credit, but they'd never refer them for credit repair. Excuse me. I'm not going to say never. Okay, we have lenders and accountants and banks. We had them send us credit repair leads. But the truth is, you can walk into a commercial lender fairly easily to get them to send you customers for business credit, whereas credit repair might not be as easy. So all of a sudden, you can get a lot more affiliates for your business just because you're offering these other services. And I use business credit as an example through this because that's my world, right? So it's an easy example for me to use. And it was one of the things that helped us be successful in credit repair. But you could replace business credit here with anything else. The bottom line is, when you have these other services, you're going to get a lot more affiliates that wouldn't normally send you credit repair business, but they'll send you business for this other service, and then you could sell those same customers credit repair on top of your other products. So it's a very effective way, very good strategy to dramatically increase your affiliate base and bring in a lot of customers to sell multiple products too. Now, the size and quality of your database determines how fast your business will grow. It's as simple as that. You should always be adding to this database. Look, if you don't have an online system, a CRM of some sort to collect customer data, shame on you. You got to stop. You got to immediately do that. There's databases out there that are ridiculously cheap and free, even if you're not using DisputSuite or Infusionsoft. You have to do this. You have to get online and find one place to start accumulating a database. Because if you're applying what we talked about here and you're marketing to people, okay, then the biggest group of people you have to market to, the more successful you're going to be. It's just the way that it is. And the one way you could do that is continuously building your list. So everybody you talk to, remember, what are you going to do? You're going to get their email address to give them a free course or a free ebook. And in doing so, you can add them to your database. Okay, your website, your Facebook page should have opt-in forms. Okay, go check out our Facebook page, CreditSuite. Just look Facebook.com/CreditSuite, and you'll find our website. You'll see right there, it says free stuff. You click on it, you see a really beautiful opt-in form. Okay, I practice what I preach because it works. Everything you do should have a way for them to give you their email address, your website, your Facebook. You should constantly be giving things away for free, whatever it takes to get their email address to build that database. Okay, full-time list builders to expand your business. Okay, web crawlers. I don't have time to dive into a lot of this today with web crawlers. Okay, but bottom line is you can go to Odesk, type in web crawlers, get more about it. These are effective ways where you could build massive lists of affiliates such as mortgage brokers or real estate agents to potentially market to. And remember, with a good email follow-up campaign, that's not just for prospects. You could create that for affiliates. So you could create a campaign that realtors and mortgage brokers get emails, and that you teach them all of these different things there is to teach them about all the things we talked about earlier, the credit score and eOscar and all these things they don't know, and they're going to get that good information, and a lot of them will turn around and send you business as a result. Okay, so build lists of these potential affiliates. Okay, send them emails through an email autoresponder. Tell them everything you know about credit. Now, is this spamming them? Maybe so. Okay, the company that I use, Infusionsoft, they define spam as anything that the person thinks that they don't want. Okay, what I found is that if you're doing this, the opt-out rate is less than 1%. As a matter of fact, we would take a list of mortgage brokers, just put them into a good email drip campaign where we gave them a lot of free information, and we found less than a 32% would ever opt out. The rest of it loved it. They would call us and say, can we put this on our blogs? Can we put this on our websites? They absolutely ate it up. And remember, tell them everything you know about credit, because a lot of them think they know, they don't. When you teach them what you know, you become the credible expert, and then what happens is that you teach them how it really works. You teach them about FCRA, FACTA, the FDCPA. You teach them what a mortgage industry option score model is and how it works. Okay, and when your potential affiliates see you as an expert because you're teaching them all these things they don't know, then they'll come to you with their business. You don't need to beat down their door. Okay, you become their trusted advisor with a good email drip campaign. Give them that kind of valuable information, and again, they're going to want to do business with you, especially if you're using the things we've talked about here today, social media, email drips, those type of things. Also, it's essential to stand out, right? I mean, how many credit repair companies are going to mortgage companies saying, send your business to me? Okay, with this, you stand out. You represent yourself as an expert, and if you do this, it's sending powerful content, then again, you're going to have them wanting to do business with you. Okay, another way you got to focus on is you got to do business and market through multiple different ways. Okay, you really got to come in, pick 2 or 3 methods to advertise, okay, not just one, and take 10 to 20% of your sale revenue and reinvest it into other marketing methods. So don't just choose email marketing. You need to do it all. You need to do social media, email marketing, SEO, SEM. Okay, the most effective companies out there in the credit repair industry, this is what they do. Okay, you're not going to talk to Lexington Law or any of the other big players and ask them what they do, and they say, I send emails. No. They're going to say, well, I do this and 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 this. They have 19 different effective marketing methods, and it's the same thing you can do. Okay, we talked about a lot of stuff today that's even free to do, so it's very easy for you to do. And always remember to test your marketing. Okay, if you test it on a small scale, and then it'll work on a massive scale nationwide. Okay, and this is it. Really, there's no cost to advertising. I mean, if you test something and spend a little bit of money and get good response, and you test it a little bit more people, a little bit more, and get good response, then you could test it on a massive level and get massive response. So build good marketing campaigns, test them, and then take those campaigns to a whole nother level so you could really have absolute massive, massive success. Okay, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. And we'll talk about mass hiring salespeople. Another thing you could do, you can also come in and automate your training, putting together flyers and all this training. Once you put together training tools for a salesperson one time, what we did was create an online website to put all these tools on. Then we literally went out at one point in time and had 100 salespeople working for us just because what we did was come in and put all the training tools online. All we did was give them login information, and it was kind of a self-paced training. And we actually did that by running ads on Craigslist. So remember, to hire very effective people, you got to have another service on top of credit repair. Okay, people want to make 6 figures a year. That's how we got our big people, was with business credit. I keep coming back to that point, but I have to because it's what helped us get to that point of success. The bottom line is, credit repair, we could get them to 40 to 60 grand a year in income, but not more. When we gave them other services like business credit, then we could get them over 100 grand, and then it was easy to get good salespeople because we could come in and go, look at this business credit funding product we have, look at credit repair, look at the demand for this right now, and then we could pull in a lot of what were ex-account executives in the mortgage business to be our salespeople. And like I said, at one point in time we had over 100. It was easy to do considering we had all of their online training online and automated it, and even just did weekly training webinars for them. So it was very easy to do. It didn't take a lot of time to train them, and then they were out there representing us basically at no cost. So a lot of stuff, huh? We went over. I talk pretty fast as I can, go over as much information as I can. So my goal here today was to hope that you walk away with at least one good point of information. Again, everything I tell you is tested and proven. It's not just conceptual stuff. This is stuff that we did, that I did at one point in time to build and sell a successful credit repair company. So I hope it helps you also. If I can ever help you, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Give me a call, 877-600-2487. You can email me, ty@creditsuite.com. If you're interested in business credit, learning more about business credit, I can ever help you in that area. That's really my specialty. Feel free to reach out to me. Send me an email, give me a call. Don't have time for questions. I'm literally getting ready to jump into another webinar, but I want to thank everybody very much for taking the time to attend this webinar, and I hope that you got a lot of good, valuable information out of this. Now it's just a matter of taking what you learned, going out, and applying it and taking action. And if you did attend this webinar, then tomorrow you should get a link to a playback of this webinar. It'll also be on the CreditSuite and probably the Dispute Suite YouTube channels too. So thanks everybody for taking the time to attend this webinar.